And don't forget to order your copy of Football Game Plan's latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths, an excellent book that you can find on our website at footballgameplan.com/books, available in both PDF as well as paperback form. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2014 NFL team preview for the Oakland Raiders. We're going to take a look at their offense, their defense, as well as their special teams. But first, let's start off on the offensive side of the football with the quarterback position. The Raiders signed Matt Schaub in the offseason with the hopes that last year's season with the Houston Texans was the aberration, and Schaub is entering his 10th season in the NFL, and in my opinion, he has maxed out as a player, which brings me to second-round pick Derek Carr. He's a guy that can make every throw on the football field, has tremendous arm strength with very good athleticism, and in my opinion, he should be the starter. At least you know he'll continue to get better while Schaub will only start to decline. The Raiders would only be delaying the inevitable by going with Schaub in Week 1. I like what the Raiders have in the backfield. A healthy Darren McFadden is a very good player that has that breakaway ability that you look for, and the club signed former Jaguars running back Maurice Jones-Drew, who in my opinion still has a lot of game left and has been much more durable and consistent than Darren McFadden. He should see the bulk of the carries, but the duo should make for an excellent 1-2 punch. Last year's 6th-round pick Latavius Murray and Corey Sheets, who comes over from the Saskatchewan Roughriders after leading the CFL in rushing last year with nearly 1,600 yards, will compete for the number 3 spot. Fullback Marcel Reese is one of the more versatile and most underrated players in the AFC and looks to be more involved in the offense this season. The potential is here for Oakland. The consistency just has to catch up. The Raiders were able to bring in James Jones and Greg Little via free agency, and Jones is a solid player that has a starting spot secured, while Little has potential but has been inconsistent in his 3 NFL seasons. He'll compete with Rod Streeter, who led the team in receiving last year, Denarius Moore, who was second on the team in receiving, for that number 2 job. Either way, they'll have a pretty good quartet of young pass catchers. Jerron Kreiner, Andre Holmes, and Bryce Butler will compete for the 5th spot, but must hold off undrafted rookie free agent Mike Davis out of Texas, who can play inside or out and runs really good routes. The tight end position, in my opinion, is a strong one for Oakland. Second-year player Michael Rivera was 3rd on the team in receiving. Rivera has very good athleticism and held his own in run blocking. And they also get David Alsbury back from injury. Both Nick Casa and Brian Leonhardt are good, flexible H-back types that can do well in the passing game. In my opinion, this is the most improved and now most underrated unit on the Raiders football team, the offensive line. They attacked this aggressively in free agency, bringing in both Donald Penn from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Austin Howard from the New York Jets. Those who are expected to start at tackle and guard respectively. Howard could also see time at tackle if last year's 2nd-round pick Menelik Watson isn't 100% and ready to go. Watson at full strength would allow Howard to start at guard, where he would excel. Center Stefan Wisniewski is one of the more underrated offensive linemen in the league and was a model of consistency last year. In round 3, the Raiders got a steal with guard Gabe Jackson out of Mississippi State, who was my number 2 rated overall prospect in the draft. I think he starts as a rookie at left guard, and that would also allow guys like Khalif Barnes, Kevin Booth, and Lamar Mady and Matt McCants to provide good quality depth up front. The Raiders got better here as well. Granted, they're a little bit older, so you wonder if they have enough left in the tank, and I do think they have enough left for at least 2 seasons. The Raiders brought in Justin Tuck, Antonio Smith, and Lamar Woodley via free agency to help jumpstart their pass rush. All 3 guys are projected as starters. And you look at Pat Sims, he gets the nod back at nose tackle, and he'll be helped by rookie 4th-round pick Justin Ellis out of Louisiana Tech, who at 6'2", 335 pounds, can not only anchor versus the run, but also shows good enough burst and quickness off the ball to collapse a pocket. Now, like what I saw out of Jack Crawford last year, as he brings good versatility, and 7th-round pick Shelby Harris out of Illinois State is one to keep an eye on, as he didn't play at all last season, but as a junior, he terrorized offenses. I'm excited about the Raiders' linebacking core. Nick Roach played some good ball last year in the middle, leading the team in tackles with 152, while rookie C.O. Moore was a rookie starter on the strong side and will be better suited as a weak side backer because of his speed and athleticism that led him to having 4.5 sacks. The reason why Moore would be better suited On the weak side is because 5th overall pick Khalil Mack is your ideal strong side backer. Mack is a do-it-all linebacker that can cover backs and tight ends as well as rush the passer with either his hand in the dirt or as an outside edge rusher. He instantly upgrades his unit, and the Raiders also get back the versatile Miles Burris from injury, and Burris was a former starter that can play all 3 linebacker spots. The same can also be said for undrafted rookie free agent Carlos Fields out of Winston-Salem State, who in my opinion has first-round talent and earned a first-round grade for me in this year's draft. He could find himself not only making a team, but making an impact as a rookie. The Raiders have to make more plays on the back end. Last year, Oakland only picked off 9 passes, which was 31st in the league. The hope is that last year's first-round pick DJ Hayden can stay healthy enough to be that playmaker on the outside. They signed Terrell Brown in free agency, who's a very good corner with man skills, and also Carlos Rogers, both from the San Francisco 49ers. Cornerback Jimmy Chekwa improved last season and figures to be a depth rotational guy, along with the 2 rookies Keith McGill out of Utah and Travis Carey out of Ohio. McGill has the size, length, and press skills to cause problems, while Carey has the ball skills and instincts, and in my opinion was a steal for the Oakland Raiders. At safety is future Hall of Famer Charles Woodson, who was 2nd on the team in tackles with 133. He's entering his 17th season, and knowing he can't play forever, the Raiders drafted Jonathan Dowling out of Western Kentucky, who's your classic center fielder with range, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him on the field with Woodson in some creative looks next season. Tavon Branch's skills were missed last year as he was out with injury and missed 14 games. His return is vital and makes this a much better and much more stable group as a whole. Marquette King is a fun player to watch, even though he's a punter, and King did fine last year, replacing future Hall of Famer Shane Leckler, averaging 48.9 yards a punt. Sebastian Janikowski had one of his worst seasons last year, only hitting 3 out of 7 from 50 yards plus. I think 2013 was an aberration, and a lot of it could be traced to the fact that he was dealing with a new holder. Tywan Jones is listed as the kickoff returner and definitely has the home run speed to be successful. He was also a big reason why the coverage units, both kickoff and punt coverage units, excelled last year. 7th round pick Travis Carey was a sensational punt returner in college and would be my guess to get the first crack at the job. That would be one place where Oakland struggled in the special team department. The Raiders improved in a lot of areas this offseason, both in the draft and free agency, and they should be able to run the football a lot better and look much more athletic and versatile defensively. You can see why there's a lot of optimism in the Bay Area. And in my opinion, it's a quarterback position. If they start Matt Schaub, I don't think they'll be helping themselves out with that move. And while they have improved in a lot of areas, depth is still a big-time concern for the Raiders. The road to the Super Bowl for the Raiders goes as follows. Number 1, Maurice Jones-Drew and Darren McFadden have to lead the way. If they can lean on that running game, they have 2 excellent options in the backfield. They can do a lot of damage to opposing defenses, and that defense has to get to at least 16th ranked. They can't be the worst defense. They don't have to be the best, but they can't be the worst. They have to get somewhere in the middle of the pack, and I think that could help them improve a lot this year. And quarterback play is stabilized, whether that's Matt Schaub or even the rookie Derek Carr. They have to find that consistency from game to game for the most important position on the offensive side of the ball. I have the Raiders finishing 4th in the AFC West. I do think they will be a much better football team. The defense will play a lot better. And I also believe the offensive line will surprise. They're headed in the right direction, but I do feel though the lack of depth will probably have the Raiders at or about 7 wins this season. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Raider fan forums for always showing football game plan support.